Om Shanti. Good morning. Welcome to the English Avyakt Murli Reading Club. And today we are doing a very powerful Murli of 18th of January 1993. So all of you know this day is celebrated as Smriti Divas. The Smriti Divas, in Hindi we can call it the day of, in English, day of remembrance, or even we can say the day of becoming almighty. And today Baba is also saying about the day of being aware, awareness. So it could be multiple meanings, day of remembrance, day of awareness. And Baba says, Smriti so samarthi. Samarthi means actually to become powerful. But here the translation today also is about becoming almighty. So how we can become almighty. And the Murli starts with Baba saying that how the Almighty Baba is addressing his almighty children. So, Baba has still got this faith in us that even we are master almighty authorities, like he is the almighty authority himself. And this Murli's title is about how we should be making our promise firm. And when we say firm promise, in Hindi it is said Drid Pratigya. Dridta actually means determination. So being firm, being determined carry the same meaning. So I'll share the screen. Again, we'll be doing it in 3 parts over 3 days. Here we go. So the basis for revelation is a firm promise. And a beautiful word in Hindi for revelation is pratyakshta, which means how we can reveal Baba, how we can show Baba. And therefore, I like this word when Baba says that if you want to show others to me, you are the showpieces of my showcase. And how can we become a showpiece? Is the Murli is all about that. So today, Almighty Baba is celebrating a meeting with his almighty children. Almighty Baba has given as a birthright to every child the treasures of total awareness. Smriti. That is the treasure of all the powers as soon as they took Brahman birth. And here again, Smriti so Samarthi. So this entire Murli is about Baba is moving around and describing this Smriti and Samarthi in different ways. As soon as they took the Brahmin birth, we got the treasures. The treasure of total awareness and that too of to all the powers. So each Brahmin soul claims this right, becomes complete and also makes others complete. Completion would be Sampan. Babdada has given us total awareness to every child very easily within a second. And how did he give it to you? He reminded you within a second. So the awareness became the key for total power. So Smriti became the chabi for Samarthi. And we can say Sampurna Samarthi. You remembered my Baba, and Baba said, my child. So Baba gave this spiritual awareness that is the key to all the treasures within a second. You accepted Baba as yours and you claimed the complete birthright. So you received it easily, didn't you? Or was it difficult? It was easy, wasn't it? Wasn't. So now each Brahmin soul says with faith and intoxication. So Nishchay and Nasha, that Baba's treasures are my treasures. And now we can churn on this like in the entire day or in these 3 days as well, that what are those treasures? Baba will be covering it later. But on a broad level, or broadly speaking, Baba speaks about khazane as three different types. What are those? Anyone can write in the chat box. And let's see if someone is able to write in the chat. The three main treasures of Brahman life. Okay, so it's Gyan, Gun, and yeah, Bijit Bhai has started. Gyan is knowledge, Gun and Shaktiyan, virtues and powers. So these are the three main ones. And then Baba goes on to say also about Samay, Shwas, Sankalp, many others, Khushi as well. So Samay is time, Shwas is breath, Sankalp is your thoughts, and X is also Khushi ka khazana, which is your treasures of happiness. So Baba says that all of you have received all these treasures, the key to that within a second, and it's not difficult. Baba's treasures are my treasures, and we are saying that with a lot of faith and intoxication. So you have made Baba's treasures your own, and so today is said to be the day of special remembrance. This day of remembrance is the day for giving total power to the children. In fact, the day of Brahman birth is the day for attaining total power. And we know that 18th of Jan 1969, how Baba transferred all his powers through Brahma Baba into Dadi Prakashmani. And yesterday was the day we celebrated 19th Ascension Day of Dadi Prakashmani, that wonderful soul who was the administrative head for a long, long time, all the way from 1969 to 2007. One of the most, we must say, the prolonged period of being an administrator, she was the one. Not even Mama. Mama didn't become the administrative head for so many years. So we know that, we celebrated that, and today we are speaking about this Murli. So it's a nice coincidence. And we know how Baba transferred it through the hands, through the fingers. So in fact, the day of Brahman birth is the day for attaining total power. However, there is special importance to this day of remembrance. And do you know what this importance is? So today, on the day of remembrance, Brahma Baba made himself avyakt. In the physical, corporeal form, he willed special willpower to the special children in order to reveal them to the world. So this special children, the special child first is physically, through physical Sakar form of Brahma, was in the Adi Prakashmani. Just as in the beginning, he willed himself all his relationships and all his wealth to the Shaktis for the sake of service. So you all know that in the Sakar days when the Yagya started, so Brahma Baba willed off all his property. We say Chal Achal Sampatti, which means all the assets, which is, I don't know how to exactly translate Chal and Achal. Fixed assets and liquid assets. Yeah, you can say something like that. So all the properties and all the cash and money and everything. He made a committee of 5 sisters, of which Mama was the one. Then it was Mithu Dadi, I think Prakashmani Dadi one, and one more Mani, I think Chandramani and Shantamani. I may be wrong, but 5 such Dadis were there, and most important, Mama. And he willed everything, all his wealth, all his relationships, for that sake of service to all the Shaktis. So in the same way, on this day of remembrance, Brahma Baba, to the corporeal form in the corporeal world, willed all the willpower to the children, to the Shakti army, in order for them to play their corporeal part now for the sake of world service. And we know Baba on this day, Baba is there with us, Brahma Baba, very much. He's just not disappeared. He's there very much. He's just changed the dress and address. We know that in the messages which came from 18 Jan to 21 Jan 1969, those 13 messages, very powerful messages. In that Baba said, I have just changed my dress, Brahma Baba said. So dress has become a Farishta dress, an angelic dress from the Sakari corporeal dress, and the address now is Sukshma Vatan, the subtle world, Avyakt world from the corporeal world. So, in order for us to play our corporeal part for the sake of world service, Baba has done that. And the moment Baba became Avyakt, the service expanded by multi-million times. He himself adopted the form of an Avyakt incognito server and made the children instruments for world benefit in the corporeal form. And anything which becomes subtle becomes more powerful because you don't have the boundaries of the corpora, of the body now anymore. Further, he says that is in the corporeal form, he willed the willpower for service, seva. And this is why this day is called the day of remembrance and the day of power. Again, the Smriti so Samarthi. So do you understand? On the basis of that remembrance, Babdada is seeing that in this land and in the foreign lands, children in all the four directions are becoming instruments and are continuing and will continue to progress in service because the children have a special Trimurti blessing. So now what is this Trimurti blessing? He's explaining you have you have the blessing of Father Shiva anyway, but as well as that, you also have the blessing of Father Brahma, who's the bestower of fortune, Bhagya Vidhata. And together with that, you also have the blessing of the sweet versions of the Mother Jagdamba Saraswati. So from Father Brahma, Mother Saraswati, Jagdamba, and Father Shiva. This is why with the Trimurti blessing, you're experiencing the right to easy success. And as you progress, there will be the experience of easy methods and elevated success. So Sahaj Vidhi and Sresht Siddhi. Beautiful words. Again, I always therefore like to read it in Hindi and translate it in Hindi because they have those beautiful rhymings. So it's Siddhi, Vidhi and Siddhi. So Sahaj Vidhi, say Sresht Siddhi. In all the four directions, there is the zeal and enthusiasm to reveal Bap Dada, and that should be revelation very soon. That this is what everyone wants, isn't it? When will it happen? Should it happen tomorrow? That while sitting here, you hear the bugles of revelation, which is Pratyakshta ke Nagare. It has already happened in 93, Baba is saying. But what do you simply have to do? You're doing it, you have to do it. But in order to blow the bugles of complete revelation, you must just do one thing. Not even two, just one. And what is that one thing? You children are the basis for bringing about revelation. It has already been said in the title. What is that one thing? A firm promise. So children have to especially underline one thing because the balance between revelation and a promise is the basis for all the souls to receive blessings from Bap Dada. So whatever we want to happen now, everyone wants to reveal Baba through his or her form, right? So for that revelation, Baba is saying Drid Pratikya. I need that Dridta in your Pratikya, which means I need the firmness and determination in your pledge, in your promise. So you make a promise every day. You do make a promise, don't you? So why is there a delay in the revelation? It should happen now, shouldn't it? So Bap Dada saw that you make a promise with your heart and with love. But what is it? You do make a promise, but one is a promise and the other is a firm pledge or a firm promise. So what is the sign of a firm pledge? You may die, but you cannot break your pledge. What is it said in Hindi? Thank you, Om Bhai, for writing. I read it in the chat box later, all those what we discussed. We say, no, Mangne se marna bhala is something else. What is that word in Hindi when we say that?
पर वचन न जाए.
Yeah, correct. प्राण जाए पर वचन न जाए. So you may lose your life, and that is typically known for the Rajputs in Rajasthan. That even if you could leave your breath or die, but you can't let go of your promise or your pledge. And I think it is Raghukul Reet Sada Chali Aaye, Pran Jaye Par Vachan Na Jaye. So it's Raghukul Reet. Now this Raghukul Reet, again, I'm not trying to confuse anyone here, but Raghukul is said for Ram, the Treta Yugi, Ram and Sita, that emperor or that clan. So it is their Reet of that clan, which means it is the way they function, all these Rajas and Maharajas of that clan. Okay, so you may die, but you cannot break your pledge. So when it's a question of life, then no matter how many small problems arise or how fearsome the circumstances may be from time to time, what are all of these in front of a question of life? So therefore, this is called a firm pledge. No matter what the circumstances are, the external circumstances cannot make the stage of the self fluctuate. So I think, let me just, because this paragraph is too big. So let's read because we have time. So let's go further that at any time in any situation, you cannot be defeated, but you will become the garland around the neck. Garland around the neck means gale ki mala. You will become a part of the rosary of victory. So Vijay Mala. You will become the decoration around God's neck. So this is called a firm thought, that is a firm pledge. So you have to underline the word firm. To make a promise means to give the practical proof. So now you'll have made a promise, you'll want to reveal me, you'll have also had determination, everything, firmness, but now give me the practical proof, Baba is saying. So, but at present, sometimes some children make a promise, and together with that, they also play a very good game. So you must have understood by now what games do we play. You've become very sensible, extra smart, we say, right? Smartness actually is a very good word, but people use it in a very wrong connotation when someone is over smart. So Baba is also saying that he's not using the word smart, but he's saying you become very sensible. As children grow, they start becoming sensible. So for us also, when we say bachpan ke din bhulana dena, the first day of childhood when we just became a Baba's child, on day one, we were not so very chalu types, smart types. We never used to play games. But as we started becoming mature, in a wrong way actually, I'm saying spiritual maturity is a good thing. As we started becoming as mature kids, as mature Brahmins, we started playing games. Now, what are those? Baba is speaking each one of them in detail. So when any problems or circumstances come that become an excuse to make your promise weak, and instead of solving that, you play many, many games of giving excuses, bahane. Baba says, एक बाजी सभी ब्राह्मणों को बहुत अच्छी आती है. What is that bazi? Bahane bazi, which means giving excuses. See, Baba, this happened, therefore, this one did something, therefore I became angry. So the onus goes on to someone else. It's because of him I am like that. No, I created anger. I have to realize that. So Baba says, you're very clever in this. What is the language of giving excuses? Many different ways now. It wasn't like that, Baba. It was like this. So it's again now I'm putting the blame game towards the situation that it was like that, because of that, it is like that. If it hadn't happened in this way, it would be like that. So situation. Then as I said, this one said this one did this. So Vyakti and Vastu and Paristhiti. So a person, some material things, or some circumstance. The circumstances are such, the situation was like that. So like this and like that, etc., etc., is the language of giving excuses. And what is the language of a firm pledge? It's whether it is like this or like that, I have to become like the Father. I have to become, I do not have to make others this, which means I'm not responsible for changing the entire world. I'm responsible for myself, transforming myself. I have to become. It shouldn't be, I will only be good if others do this. No. So that is there also in the Lokik world that if someone is nice to you, good to you, you're also good to him. And someone is not good, you give it back, tit for tat. No, that's the Lokik world. But here Baba says it can't be like that. If others give cooperation, only then I will be complete. That's so futile, isn't it? Because we can't expect cooperation for everyone all the time. And only then will I become perfect. So I think I'm just reading on and on. So we should have some masala to read for tomorrow and day after. Let me just check. Yeah, so maybe from the third thing we can, yeah. Okay, so we'll just finish this paragraph because it's in a nice continuity. Yeah. So if, yeah, further Baba says, I'll just read this line. It's a beautiful line again. If others give cooperation, only then will I become complete and only then will I become perfect. So instead of receiving in this way, to become the master bestowers and give cooperation, love and sympathy is in fact receiving. So instead of receiving that I will become perfect depending on so and so and so excuses, I have to become the master bestower, which means master vidhata, data, whatever, and give cooperation to people. And this way, it is always we know about every virtue and power, dene mein lena samaya hai. So to you give love and sympathy, you will receive it back. That's what Baba is saying is in fact, giving love, sympathy, cooperation is in fact receiving it. So remember, the meaning of Brahman life is to give, is to receive. The receiving is merged in the giving. And this is why the basis of a firm pledge is to see the self, to change the self or transform, and to maintain your self-respect. The self-respect is of being a master bestower. So what will you do in this Avyakt year? Will you go from Madhuban having made a firm promise, and then when you return home, will you play the game of giving excuses? No. Instead of your promise being firm, there is one main reason for the promise being weak, or for your being loose in fulfilling that promise. So for instance, no matter how big any machinery may be, if even one tiny screw becomes loose, it makes the whole machine useless. So in order to fulfill such a promise, you make very good plans. You also make a lot of effort. However, the screw which makes your plans and effort weak is carelessness. So bahanebazi, albelapan, alas. These three are actually very subtle vices. So this is Baba speaking about the second one, carelessness, albelapan. And normally we say very casually, iska screw dhila ho gaya. We say that, right? Which means he's not functioning properly. He's not using the intellect properly. So same way here, bahanebazi, excuses, albelapan, carelessness also makes our screw very loose. So that comes in very different forms. It constantly comes in many new forms. It does not come in the old form. So now tighten this loose screw of carelessness. It shouldn't be, this happens anyway. No, this has to happen, which means I just can't put the blame game on anyone. This happens anyway. This will do. No, this is all carelessness. It will happen. Just wait and see. Have this faith. Dadi, Didi, have faith in me. It will happen. It shouldn't be, it will happen. It happens anyway. So, which means we can't be giving consolation prizes to our Didi and Dadis and saying, oh yes, I will become complete one day. No. So you have to just instill faith in the didis. You have to have you have to do such things that faith is instilled in them, in dadis and didis, that yes, have faith in me. It will definitely, I will be doing that. So you definitely now have to become like the father, and you have to become that now, not at some time, not at some future time. Now. So it's now, I say it's Aruna Ladwa sisters, a series of it's time. It's time. So it's time to do now everything. So it just reminds me of that book. So with this, I'll just stop sharing the screen. So we finish here, and tomorrow we'll start with some other excuses which we give or reasons which make our promises weak. We'll again spend a moment in silence and then start sharing. Thank you. So you could start sharing.
Om Shanti. So one thing that Baba says is promise and pledge. So promise means it can break, right? So it's saying that I will do it. That it's a promise, but when it comes to pledge, then we are no matter what happens, we will do it. It's like giving a that firmness is more, that even the circumstances or anything is against it, still we'll make it happen. So that's what a firm pledge is. So more determination is coming here with pledge. And the powers that Baba is talking about here, all powers. So one question that I have is the powers, using them on time. Okay, so we have all the powers. I know Baba gave all the powers, and the awareness, my Baba will, give us all powers, and that's the key. Mera Baba is the key, and when we stabilize in that awareness, then we can use all powers. Baba will also, we have complete access to that treasure store, and we can whichever power we want and use it. And sometimes what happens is, the power that we want, it may come late. We realize after the situation, or the situation is past. So, and then we repent on it. Okay, I could have used this in this way. So I heard that these powers are like our servants, or we should have the practice of using every power, in our situation. Only then, when we order it, it will come. Yeah. So the question is how. I mean, how can we do that practice, and how these powers we can use? They should come on time. Even a slightest delay cost, even seconds of delay is also can cause great loss, right? Yeah.
Yeah, so I was looking at the Hindi version of the Murli. It is actually Drid Pratigya. The title mentions that. So I don't know, I'm not saying anything is wrong here, but it's just a perspective difference. So the exact word translation would be pledge, as you rightly said. Pledge is something which we can't break, whereas promise in Hindi we say kasam and in Urdu we say vada. So we often say a word again in Hindi, again a proverb or a muhavra like वादे अक्सर टूट जाते हैं and what is the other thing? Yeah, the कोशिशें कामयाब होती हैं, which means koshish again is it's all Urdu words. So the like purusharth, whatever efforts we make, they do materialize and they become successful. But sometimes the promises we keep, they break. But that doesn't mean Baba is asking us to break a promise here. But as you rightly said, that the word here is drid. Drid means determined. So determination is very important, much better than the word firm. So we have to take a determined pledge. And your question is right now we should be doing it. So I think your question was, I missed that. Why are we not able to
Yeah, the powers,
apply? Yeah,
using the
why
powers.
using the power at what at that right moment of time? So I think this applies to what last Sunday, a few days ago, the Murli was lack of attention. So I think we are not attentive, and attention means if my mind and intellect are focused and concentrated at every point of time, I would be able to apply all these knowledge points with lot of attention. And Baba even goes further to say that बच्चे attention का भी tension लेते हैं, which means we have to not take tension that yes, I want to do this, I want to do this. So we just have to be attentive and aware and alert. Baba's words again, A. And try to apply all the points with lot of awareness, and awareness again could be multiple aspects of soul consciousness, dehi abhimani, atma abhimani sthiti. Yesterday Baba said in the Sakar Murli a new word, ruhani abhimani sthiti, and all that, and alertness. So we have to just use everything with lot of attention, alertness, and being aware. And once we start doing that, then probably I think practice makes a man perfect. We are practicing Raj Yogis, no doubt, but probably we are very albele, we are careless. So the opposite word of carelessness is being attentive. If someone is full of attention, then carelessness will go away. So I think that is the way to use every virtue and power at the point of time when I need it.
Okay, thank you, Manoj bhai.
Om Shanti, Manoj Bhai. I don't know,
Yes.
even as Bijit Bhai was asking that question, even I was going through the literal meaning on it, but I actually found a little bit of difference in both. Like if suppose, even I couldn't get why in Hindi the only pratigya, why such words as kasam or vada and all were not taken. The language which Baba uses is only pratigya, and even the adjective which he uses for that is Drida Pratigya. So if you're like for Purusharth, it'll only be Tivra. So he's got some fixed adjectives are always there, I've seen in the Mudli. But what I feel is promise is something forward looking. It is like a moral obligation. So I have a moral obligation when I promise Baba I do this. It's between me and him, so he can claim it from me and say, see, this is what you promised. But pledge is a ceremonial thing. Like we had this Nasha Mukta pledge and all, where all the people, and still it's going on the process there is. Now, how far can you enforce it? Even the next minute, there will be somebody who goes in and has alcohol. So that is just a ceremonial thing. It's like a tickling of the mind. But there is no solemnity if you see in a pledge, even though it is done. And also, I can't understand even how what Baba means about firm pledge. That's what when I wanted to give. Then again, coming to these adjectives, determination and firm. Determination means resolute and decided. माइंड बोलता है नहीं कुछ भी हो जाए ये करना ही है But firm is something which gives strength. Firmness, it just adds to the completion of the thing. It gives strength, it gives permanence, it gives the hardness. So if that way, if I take it, and when Bab Dada's that one statement, pratyakshata and pratigya ka balance. This is what is the statement which I want a little more thing, because we all say why pratyakshata is not happening, why revelation is not being done. Like I like the way you started the Murli, where Baba said, pratyakshata jab hoge, you are the showpieces of the showcase. So how attractive is your showpiece, then people will do window shopping if they see you. Oh, there are some nice pieces over here. So this balance, pratyakshata and pratigya ka balance, can you give us a little more taking into the deeper meaning of a promise and pledge? Because for me, the word pledge is something not as firm as a promise. So, based on that, how do I bring about a balance? If you could add a little more, Manoj bhai.
Yeah, so thank you for your explanation. Uh, I just am sitting here and thinking that when we sit in the flights and the air hostesses, they make these announcements of whatever, that's wear your seatbelt, blah blah, all that. So they also say that in Hindi, everything is translated in Hindi. They say हम प्रतिबद्ध हैं. Pratibadh, it's a beautiful word. It means commitment. So we are committed. So we are committed to your safety, to your pleasure, to whatever, everything. That we are you are our guests. We are your hosts. So we are committed to giving you a very beautiful ride. And please make sure you'll come back to us. They say that. So another word which really goes very well with this, a pledge is always commitment. Like as you also rightly mentioned, we are celebrating this Nasha Mukti in Dadi's remembrance this August. And I think yesterday it was a world record made. I don't know the number exact, but we have created a world record that we had so many pledges. So pratigya की हमेशा प्रतिबद्धता होती है. So pratigya, pratibadhita. So a pledge is always to be committed, whereas a promise can be broken. A pledge cannot be broken. So remember again, as we said, pran jaye par vachan na jaye, which means I can't break a commitment. So that way, it's very nicely, as you also rightly said, that yes, Baba has these fixed words, and it is important it should be fixed because it is a pledge. It is not a promise actually. And because the pledge can never ever be broken because it is either this way or that way. It's not, it's absolute. As you were saying, resolute, it's absolute. As we say in Hindi, nishchay, it's a virtue which is either there or not there. It's all or none phenomenon. We can't say, yes, I have 50% faith in Baba. No, which means 50% you don't have, which means it's 0%. So in the faith in Baba is either zero or no. But for love, Baba says that all of your 100% pass in that subject. But in faith, if there is no faith, even if there's just one thought of doubt, even sankalp, sanshaya in sankalp, that will lead to vinashayanti. Viprit buddhi, sanshaya buddhi, vinashayanti. So therefore, it's important that it's a pledge, as we said, it has to be our commitment to Baba. And yes, all of us are committed, though we are all number wise. So I would say another word is commitment here, not a promise. Commitments, pledges cannot be broken. We are committed towards our pledges, whilst promises can actually be sometimes broken. And in fact, people go on to say that वादा तो तोड़ना ही है, like people go on to say that. But here it is about pledges to be committed to Baba. Okay, so
So you say pledge is much more committed word
absolutely, yes, yes,
than
yes.
promise.
Yeah,
Because for me, I don't know, when I promise, I even agree with you. I don't know, when we were young, we were told about love and all. A person wrote a letter to a person that I promise to love you. The sea shall go away, it shall rain. No, I mean everything can go, but my love for you is always there. And then P.S. he writes down, today if it rains, we shan't meet. So that a promise? That is a promise. Is it conditional? But a pledge is unconditional. Is this what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I feel. And also we say, pledge cards. We don't say promise cards. So when we do these de-addiction lectures for people in schools, colleges, institutes, universities, we always, at the end of that, we get up and ask them to take your hands forward and take a pledge. So it's basically a pledge which is a sign of commitment rather than a promise. Yeah. Okay,
So
it could.
bring, I know Manoj Bhai, we are asking you a lot, but you give us more of this clarity. That's why I'm asking. Now, can you
That's okay.
conclude it?
Mhm.
Conclude it by saying about this balance between revelation and promise. How, in short, then of course tomorrow you can again continue because that's very much in my head.
Are you asking the first line of Baba said in the few, the
No,
balance of revelation, right? That's what
no,
you're.
no, not first line. Where
Mm-hmm.
Baba gives the three blessings and all, and then he says the balance between revelation and promise is the basis for souls to receive by
It's not
souls to
relation, it's revelation. It's
revelation. Yeah, sorry.
revelation, yeah.
Yeah, revelation.
Right.
So can you
So,
just on that statement?
yeah, so I mean, I don't know how much to add here or what to add, but the Baba is just saying that that gap still exists. So let us take the blessing of Trimurti in the sense we are incorporeal children of Shiv Baba. That goes without saying. But let us follow Mama and Baba. And once we follow them just the way they were, without even creating any other thoughts, how did they do that? Why did they do this? No. I'll share a few stories of some not so-called dadis now because you can't call them dadi because they left the yagya midway. So I'll share one story that it shows that how Mama dealt with that soul. That soul actually disrespected Mama in every way, but Mama still wouldn't let go of her good wishes for that soul. So I'll tell you that story, let's see, tomorrow or day after when we have time. So it's beautiful that how these souls dealt with all the other souls in the yagya and let go of their ego. Never did Mama have this that, oh, I'm becoming Lakshmi, how can she speak like that to me? Or Brahma Baba also, I am becoming Narayan and Vishnu and Krishna and all that, how can they? So we have to really just follow these two particularly and obviously remember Baba to get power, to get yoga, Shakti, Yog Bal, Yog power, whatever. So this way then I think we will be able to close the gap between the revelation and the pledge which we have. So that gap will become narrower and narrower. And then whatever we speak, whatever we are, Chehra Chal Chalan will just reveal Baba through us. Right? Okay, so we'll just spend a more. Thank you so much for your sharings. And I think tomorrow we'll read the second part. And I think I always take it from the internet. It's my mistake. But there are quite a few I saw in Hindi again. Quite a few groups which Baba's meeting, Avyak Babdada's personal meeting. So we'll be covering that as well because there are almost 8 or 9 such groups. So I think we should be covering that also. So we'll spend a moment in silence and then exit. Thank you. Thank you. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Baba. Thank you, Manoj Bhai. Thank you, Divine Family. We'll connect again tomorrow at 5 a.m. Until then, you all have a beautiful day. Om Shanti.